Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the RSC. It is the podcast itself, happily named the RSCast, and what is a surprise is Tavish hasn't shown up, although I think at this point it's not at all here. But I do have two fine experts here to my left and right. We might as well kick it off with the most handsome man of them all, Pinchmen. How are you?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely disappointed. I thought it was going to Pegasus. Absolutely beautiful hair on the end. I was surprised, as you can probably see in the entry. But yes, we're back. League play's over now. And this one will be slightly longer than the normal ones because we have to go through the Prospect and Challenger predictions, where we predict most of you to absolutely flop horrendously.
Yeah, I love Danny's wording calling us experts, so we're going to be called anything but when they get those predictions up later. I can assure that prospect discussion, challenger discussion is going to be in absolute flames by the end of the night. So,
Please.
There's a little bit of a spoiler for what's coming, of course, later in the stream, but you should come to expect it by now if you've been in RSC for quite some time. But very excited to be back, and Danny, it's very nice to have you back as well, although I do miss my man Tavish as well.
Well, for once, I actually don't know what's wrong with him, but he may be still out with his girlfriend in Paris, to be honest with you. So we don't know if he's still around, but if you are, Tavish, please come back so I don't have to do this again. So anyways, we might as well kick things off, gentlemen, with the last of the league play campaign, and we might as well start with the lowest tier, of course, being Prospect. And do you know what? I must say here, there was a massive surprise. But it's not for me to break that down here, and we may as well see Mal break the production wicket, by the way. Are we getting that chance anytime soon?
Mal loves to break things around here.
Oh, he really does. He said he had 4 things to test today. I think this was the unnamed 5th that he forgot about, but that's some stuff for off camera.
This is actually week 8 results as well. It's not even week 9 results with a week 8 banner. It is actually.
Hold on, I'm gonna snitch. Hold on, I'm gonna snitch. Mal said it in the group chat. Arch went onto the sheet and changed it. Blame Archeon. Blame Archeon. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
All right, hold on. Mal, bring us back to us for a second here. We'll cut this and edit. Well, Archeon breaks the sheets here. We do have 2 fine gentlemen to break down, of course, the prospects. Mel, do you mind putting week 9 on, please? Hope it doesn't go awfully wrong. Damn, I was hoping he was going to stick week 8 back on that. But anyways... Kingsman, we might as well start with you with Glacius as well here. So any interesting results that has stood out here for the prospect here?
There was a team chasing Terror at the top of the table. Obscurity really put their mark in. 7-1 week, beating Terror and sweeping Stratus near the bottom of the table. Big results for them. Did it see them get the top of the table, or did they need to take another game off of Terror in that week 9 result? You will see. However, 4 draws in a row for Primordial sees them dropping games they probably shouldn't have to Stratus and Spark. Spark, one of the teams in the top 6. Stratus, not so much. A result they really needed that could have propelled their playoff push. However, looking around the rest of the table, Volpez picked up a sweep onto Alta. A big deny for them, who were looking to push towards Terror as well. And Komodo's swept Team Stream to ultimately stop them from getting top 6.
Absolutely fantastic. Those are the potential results. We'll actually see the league table just shortly here. But Pegasus for the last time for Prospects in Ignis's conference. How did it go down?
I must say, it's been a very, very chaotic time for the Prospect division, and I feel like Ignis has been the centre for quite a lot of it. Double wins at the crucial times for Nanettle and Tartarus, who are both teams fighting for a qualification spot, with Tartarus actually landing a sweep versus Rosas. Huge fight at the top between Livens, Newborn, Hot Metal and Protocol, with a lot of Sunday matches. Livens and Newborn draw, Protocol draw Hot Metal, and Livens actually collect a no-show forfeit win versus Tomfoolery to shake things up. Newborn got a sweeping victory versus Hysteria, and that very same Hysteria managed to beat Protocol 3-1. That wasn't the final surprise to come out of the Ignis conference, but I'll move on to that when we see the league tables.
Well, we might as well actually go to the league tables themselves here. I wonder, will it be week 8 standings or week 9? But, well, of course, he does shortly here. And, of course, Glacius, well, here they are coming across. And, you know what, for a bit of a change, Pinchmen, how does the league table look?
Double loss week for Terra, but they managed to take 2 games, which secures them top of the table in Glacies. Obscurity needed an extra game off of Terra. It would have secured them first place, but they finished the season in second. Alter find getting swept stops them from pushing towards the top. However, they do sit in that top 3 playoff spot. Primordial double draw sees them in 5th, with Volpez picking up a much crucial sweep onto Alter, secures them 4th from that bye in the play-in's lower bracket. Spark, unbeaten in the last 5, sees them secure 6th place and knocking out Team Serene, who got swept this week by Komodos. And it shows how crucial that sweep was against Team Serene. It stops them making top 6 on 33 wins. Komodos at 32, they did a job to stop Team Serene making the top 6. Stratus, though, they didn't do anything this week, but they sit on 31 wins. And Crusaders, who've been at the bottom basically all season long, sit on 28 wins. And those 4 teams will not be seen again.
Sorry, Team Serene, did they make play-ins there? I may have missed that one, Kingsman.
Come on,
no,
don't kick my team
got
of it down. Come on, guys.
No.
Oh my gosh, they had a scheduling hell. They had to use a substitute for the first game, and I'm going to call him out. Source subbed in for us and was part of that sweep, okay? I'm just throwing it out there.
They got swept by a team below them, so they didn't make top 6.
With an FA!
Excuses, Pegasus, excuses.
Yeah,
Oh.
that must be awfully hard. Anyways, we'll speak to the AGM in just a moment here, but we'll move over to actually the man himself. Ignis, how did that particular confidence end up for the prospect here?
Well, I said that it was complete chaos at the top of the table, which I hope, of course, that we will see shortly. Mr. Malachi, perhaps not. I'll just read them out here. Livens are sitting at the top of the table with 45 game wins. Oh, here we go. Newborn and Hot Metal take 2nd and 3rd with 44 game wins. And Livens actually taking that lead, partly due to them, of course, taking that forfeit sweep versus Tomfoolery. So it's going to definitely leave a sour taste in the mouths of Newborn and Hot Metal. Protocol, they actually faced a loss, so they will get 43 game wins, and for now we are just going to say that they are in for play-ins. Hysteria lost win, saw them say in the same position with 38, and you've seen the Nettle and I believe it's actually Tartarus that take that spot, but is what it currently says on the playoff brackets, sitting in 6th and 7th. Those were the 2 teams to get double wins this week. Roses, unfortunately, getting double loss, as did Tomfoolery and 20 Riflemen. So you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, Livens have 2 lives in the upper bracket, Newborn and Hot Metal, they Haitian. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Protocol have forfeited their spot in play-ins due to availabilities, and due to that, Hysteria take the 4th seed, Nettle take the 6th, and I want to say that Tartarus take the 6th. But I will wait for someone to come back. Okay, thank you. So Tartarus will take the 6th. So actually quite unfortunate there for Roses, but they did get a double loss this week. So choked at the final hurdle, but they didn't even really know it.
Sounds like a Team Stream roster.
Okay.
Well, just for the sake of clarity, Pegasus, can you repeat the entirety of that? Because we did hear that the stream did drop for a second, so we do apologize.
Really?
Can you start
Really?
Can you start from the very beginning again there? But I just want to start here. What happened, Team Serene, by the way, Kingsman Gus?
Did we actually go down?
Yeah, we went down.
Oh, no.
We went down there for a brief moment. We believe it might have been due to Archeon being very unhappy due to the sheets being changed last second there. But sorry, Pegasus, for the sake of our...
Chat, are we back? Are we definitely back?
No.
Well, we are back as far as I'm aware. So can you please restart from the beginning there?
Okay, well, I said Livens on 45. Of course, they collected a forfeit win against Illusory, so it's going to leave a sour taste in the mouths of Newborn and Hot Metal that they weren't able to snipe that first place spot out of the performances coming from Livens, but instead a complete no-show coming from that illusory roster. As it stands, Livens get 2 lives going into playoffs. Snoobon and Hot Metal have to compete for their second life, but playoffs are still guaranteed. Protocol looked like they were going to get the bye in play-ins, but they would still have to play play-ins. But what has actually happened, ladies and gentlemen, is Protocol have forfeited their spot in play-in/playoffs due to availability. So as a result of that, Hysteria do take 5th seed, Nettle will take 6th seed, and contrary to what it says on the sheet here, due to head-to-head, Tartarus will actually be taking the 6th seed. Rosas, not even knowing that they may have thrown away their hopes with their double loss week, not obviously on knowing that Protocol would eventually go on to forfeit, they do drop out. So, like I said, it is going to be Tartarus taking that 6th seed, Rosas drop out, and Protocol are forfeiting.
And I do apologise, Pegasus, once again. We may have crashed, so can you repeat that from the very
Are
beginning?
you kidding? No, please. I don't even have the stream up on another device.
I'm only winding you up, Pegasus. No, it hasn't here. But
Thank goodness.
I do want to briefly draw attention here, and I know there was a gentleman's agreement behind the scenes, but I didn't. Conversation here. I do want to draw everybody's eyes, if you are watching the stream here. And Kingsman, you've been near enough as long, if not longer, than I have in RSC. Has anybody ever had a goal difference of -95 or worse before?
Oh my goodness!
Well, I mean, there is one this season. If we would get to rival eventually, you'll see one of -101.
Well,
my goodness.
We have lots to look forward to here. There might be teams in worse positions here, which will be interesting. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is Prospect wrapped up here. We do have a long day, so we're just going to hopefully rattle through a wee bit more faster. But that does mean we'll move on to the Challenger Conference or tier and going to straight to the Glacius Conference itself in Kingsman. I do believe there might be a bit more happier news for Team Serene. Is that the case?
Yeah, they actually went double win this week, to everyone's surprise. They picked up a 4-0 sweep onto bottom of the table Shrine, as they should, and they picked up a 3-1 win onto fellow mid-table Neptunium. So good results round for them. However, the team I focused on were Ryujins. In the driving seat for first place, they get swept by Eclipse. And that is a huge game when we go to look at the table, but they picked up a 3-1 onto Volpez to swiftly take them out of the top 6 fight. But that 4-0 from Eclipse will be massive, and it will show. Also to mention, Sentinels went 7-1, sweeping Ember, who they were behind going into week number 9. And they got a 3-1 onto bottom of the table Shrine to end Shrine season as negatively as it was in week 8.
Ooh, a few probably say store conversations, but Pegasus over at Ignis here, it was a tight battle, but more for 6 and 7. So where's the matchups that we need to know here?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had a fail of the week at the end of week 3, and it was a team that was going 0-6. No one believed them, but that they would make that comeback. Kapakli do go 8-0 in week 9, and I want to point out 16-0 if we consider week 8 and week 9. An absolutely insane comeback coming from this Azteca roster. So I just wanted to give them their flowers. They landed sweeps this week versus Cypher and Canaans. Pardus are the only other team with a double win after beating Mischief and 20 Rook. And in response to being swept by Kapakli, Canaan's got a victory versus top of the table Feather. Feather also got a loss versus 20 Rook, marking a poor finish and tripling their series losses in the final week of the season. Apprentices also swept Orcus, but lost to Cypher.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move over to the actual league tables itself here to see how 72 games has all rounded up here. So Kingsman, how does your table actually shape up to be?
Remember that 4-0 sweep? Well, Eclipse take the conference lead because of it. First place for them, 42 wins. Sentinels actually take second on head-to-head against Ryujins, which demotes them to third in the final week. The throw will not be forgotten, I'm sure, but will not forget it. I'll make sure, in fact, he doesn't forget it.
Oh my
Ember
goodness.
finished 4th on 39 wins. Top scorers in the conference, Yukobo managed to finish 5th. It doesn't mean anything scoring goals if you're not winning games. Neptunium then round out the top 6 with 35 wins. A loss but a sweep allows them to sneak in. Volpez, no win in week 9, shows them the door, and out they go of the playoff position. 7th for them on 34 wins. Tornado needed a win to try and snatch something off there. They didn't get it. Disorder, very, very poor in the last few weeks, and well, they haven't got much better as they end on 30 wins. No win in their last 5, and even worse is Shrine with only 1 draw in their last 5, sees them bottom of the table on 28 wins. But just to say, to be in 9th with a 0 goal difference is somewhat impressive.
It is, Joe. We're seeing minus 90 odds at the foot of the table, so well done to Disorder. But shall we say 006? Where did they end up on the league table going 16-0? So Pig, where's Ignis?
Well, I'm happy that you are sharing my excitement for this Azteca roster because it was actually exactly where I was going to start from. 006, fail of the week to automatic playoff qualification. They now sit in 3rd place after an absolutely absurd comeback here at the end of the season. Feather also, despite their double losses, do actually maintain their top spot. They were able to give themselves so much of a distance in the final week that Apprentices just were not able to keep up with them. And it can be seen that Pardis actually earned their qualification versus 20 Rook by playing each other early in the week, and Pardis did actually manage to take that victory. However, it actually didn't end up being as much of a factor as we would have liked it to be. It would have been, a really nice storyline to include here. But similarly to Prospect, the 4th place team, this time it will be Legend Mania, are forced to forfeit. This time due to a lack of sub games played, which is definitely a disappointing way to fall out, not even due to availabilities this time. That means, as a result, of course, the top 3 remain the same. Canaans will take that 5th seed, Pardis will take that 6th seed, and 20 Rook are saved in the final minutes, pushing their way up to 6th just for playing their sub games.
Well, it's a bit disappointing that they can't count to 16 by the sounds of it.
Rookie error, that is.
Mm-hmm. I heard they saved it to the end of the season, and their substitute did not show up. This is why you've got to get prepared earlier in the season, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you've got someone reliable, because this is a disappointing way for the Legend Mania season to end here in Challenger.
As Ark, I think, told me at some point, you can't leave it all to the final week and just expect things to happen and moved around. But as Pig said, it's unfortunate that these things happen. Get your sub-games done early and you will not have this problem.
That's certainly true, but that is Challenger wrapped up between the 2 conferences. We do now move to Rival itself here, and somewhat surprising, the entire tier without any technical issues, and it's just to say that's a brief one to hear. So I know this is somewhat getting close to the Halloween special, Mal, but we don't need any spooks or horrors or shockers here. But please themselves, I do see, shall we say, a double, shall we say, potential defeat here. Was there a trick or certainly a treat here?
Well, there was no tricking Anarchy this week. They went 0-8. And for a team that was bottom anyway, it's a disappointing end to the, not really disappointing, it's just a poor end to the season. However, there were teams who were absolutely ripping up the league. Sanctum, Shock and Mokateki decided it was their time to shine, and that's exactly what they do. Sanctum go 4-0 against Volpez and 3-1 against Serene. Both sides were looking towards that top 6. Shock then, they beat Flame, who weren't looking towards it, but had got a win in week 9 against Hydras. And their other game was a 4-0 sweep against Uranium, who just had an awful week, to be honest. They were 3rd after week 8, and they've absolutely slipped, and it will cost them any chance of a bye of any sort. However, a big scrap in that mid-table, and there's 3 teams who have gone double win, and their price has been paid.
Well, Pegasus, a double win. Prices are at least paying out here. Does Ignis have a slot machine that is ready to give us a jackpot, or is it more disappointments?
Well, as you can see on your screen, there are plenty of twos there, and there was actually no team that went double win this week. However, not all wins are made the same. Bottom of the table, Psychosis got their second series win of the season versus Journeyman. This has no impact on play-ins or playoffs, but I just thought I'd mention it. However, Journeyman did somehow get themselves involved in the play-ins playoffs fight by allowing themselves to get swept against Onker, which gave them some vital points in trying to get closer to play-ins qualification. Onker also landed a draw versus Erebos. Recon, unfortunately, go 1-7 after being swept by Ash and losing to 20 Robin. And Tizok had to play top teams 20 Robin and Caligo and managed to get themselves 2 draws. Mirage grant themselves some safety and hold back Ash with a draw. They also went on to beat Erebus as well.
Yeah, that sounds quite interesting there. We are still waiting to see which side it is. Has triple digits on the goal score line. Not in a good way, however, but we might as well have a brief peek through the window. Kingsman, the Glacius table, please.
Well, I'll wait for the table to load. No, I won't. Sanctum, 50 wins, the first team so far to reach the 5. They top of the table of Shock on 47. Normally that'd be enough to secure top of the table. Not for them. Second place. Mokateki sneak into that top 3. Must be good for Pegasus' team so high up the table. Vanguard's then in 4th. No real big week for them. Double draw sees them with 40 points. Double loss for Uranium slots them out of that top 3 into 39. They have to play the first round of play-ins. Nightfall picked up a win-draw week to bounce back from a very poor last few weeks, but they get 38 wins, securing playoffs, knocking out Hydra's, Volpez, Flame, and Anarchy, who we will not see again because there's no dropouts so far. And as you can see down there, the minus 78 is the worst goal difference in this conference, so that spoils it. It's in Ignis.
So, Pegasus, the mighty triple digits on your side of the table. I wonder who might be the unlucky one there.
Well, I don't think there'll be any prizes for guessing here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just wait for this one to hit number 10. I'm actually going to give the league, of course. It is going to be Psychosis, sitting on a minus 101 goal difference. But despite that, they actually had quite an impact in qualifications for play-ins. But I'll save that for just a bit later. Tizok, of course, standing up the top with 49 game wins. I do also just want to preface with saying that we have had the only 2 play-ins playoffs forfeit. There'll be no more for the rest of the stream. I did get that confirmation from the admins. Ash takes 2nd and 20 Robin do take 3rd. Caligo in 4th, Mirage in 5th, and Recon, they actually had a double loss week, and actually their form has been pretty abysmal in the later stages of the season, but they do survive by 1 game win versus Onker. Now, I said that Psychosis actually had some kind of impact to play-ins playoffs qualification. Of course, they got 2 series wins. One of those series wins was against Journeyman this week. Their second series win was, I believe, in week 7 versus Onker. Should Onker have got that series victory against bottom of the table Psychosis, they would have taken that spot away from Recon. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why every game counts, and you have to take your chances.
Well, thank you very much, Pegasus. I think we actually know far too well that every game matters, especially when we head over to Elite in the moment. Rival, that is
absolutely
there. And there might be a few happy faces for the Glacius side of the bracket here. However, it's not the Team Serene AGM, it's not even the coach of one of the teams on this side. It's Kingsman Gas. Can you break the news, please?
I will. Only one team goes double win this week, and it's Darkness. A 3-1 win over fellow title chargers Leviathans, and a 3-1 win over fellow title chargers again in Temple. Leaves them on a very good end to the season, 6-2. A very good result. However, teams in the mid-table are looking to push on. Blaze, they beat Shinjiro 3-1 in what was a very close mid-table battle. And, well, speaking of mid-table battles, there was 3 teams, Saturnia, Centurions, and Shinjiru, all fighting for a 6th place spot. Centurions managed to get a 4-0 sweep over bottom of the table. Saturnia managed to beat High Flyers Leviathan to send them double loss and eliminate their chance of playoffs. But in what has to be the shock of the week, the team that, since their rebuild, I was told, hadn't lost a single series. Danny, do you want to go into detail what happened?
No, Kingsman. I love of you to break the news for everybody, please.
Shinjiru beat Severance. Severance, who were on a title charge for that 1st place spot, hadn't lost a series, I've been told by my Rocket Sundays teammate, and they've went and lost to Shinjiru. Ultimately, and will show how crucial that win for Shinjiru will be.
Just for a quick second, Mal, do you mind bringing us to the caster camp for a second?
Rare Danny boy smile.
Yeah, my genius frightens myself sometimes. Shall we go back to the rest of the results as well? Didn't lose a game, I heard. Got beat in the cup and in the league play. There's a double for you that he doesn't want to get talked about. 15 years I've been in this game. Finally pays off. Ignis, please, Pegasus.
Okay, moving on to Ignis. It was the end of a 4-win streak coming from top of the table, Insanity. They landed a draw versus lower side 20 Raven and a loss versus 2nd place at Lakoya. Lakoya also went on to beat Thanatos to be the only team to go double win this week in the Ignis Conference of Elite. Make up for their loss, playoff contending Psy Thanatos also went on to sweep Deception. Scorch shut off 20 Raven by beating them, but slow themselves down by drawing Bladesmiths. Carbo also managing to land a sweep this week, but then also went on to get swept to end it neutral.
Thank you very much there, and by the sounds of the dampening crying that's happening over the Glacius League table, where does everybody end up, Kingsman?
Well, top of the table is going to be Temple. 12 series wins, absolutely deserved from them. Severance rise up to 2nd in what was but absolute title charge that, wouldn't have been anyway if they'd beaten Team Serene. Darkness, though, double win sees them slot into 3rd. Another game win would have secured them 2nd. Leviathan's double loss knocks them out of upper bracket and sends them to the lower bracket. Blaze, though, a solid week for them, secured them 5th. And Shinjiru getting that win over Severance secured them 6th place. The final spot, and they said goodbye to Centurions and Saturnia. Only 1 game off another week would have left it very, very interesting. However, far, far away was Cyclone, who in fact got their 3rd series win over Volpez to leave Volpez in the dust at the bottom of the table.
I don't often say this, but I have never watched Discord as hard watching the Satarian scoreline come in. My word, I've never prayed harder for Temple to win before, but thank you very much for that 4-0 win. But enough about one side gloating. We might as well move over to Ignis here to wrap up Elite here.
Listen, there's a reason that management aren't allowed to cover the conference that their team play in. Well, let's look at the top of the table, ladies and gentlemen. At Lakoya and Insanity both sit there. I'm actually not 100% sure who takes the 1st seed, because when I went to look at the head-to-head, they actually draw on the first 2 tiebreakers. Their head-to-head is equal, and their head-to-head goal difference is also equal. So I don't actually know who has guaranteed themselves those 2 lives. However, moving a little bit down the table here, of course, we see Carbo in 3rd place with 41 game wins. They were the team to sweep and get swept, and they almost lost their spot there to either Scorch or Deception. The 2 teams behind them sitting on 40 game wins. And then going further down, of course, we do have Thanatos sitting on 36, just managing to blitz themselves ahead of Bladesmiths, who sat on 34. Bladesmiths, they've done a good job this week. They managed to get themselves a huge series win and a draw right next to it, but that gulf between 6th and 7th was just too huge for the final week, and it was completely out of their power. 20 Raven do take 8th, Tigris take 9th, and Echelon take 10th. And it was actually quite a bit of a battle at the bottom of the table to see who would just about peep their nose over, and it does go to the Panthera side.
Well, thank you very much. And just the update here in a Kingsman, correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe Insanity do take the top spot, and I believe that will go to goal difference in head-to-head, if I'm correct in this regard.
Yes, that's correct.
When it's stuff there. Ooh.
Never mind every game being important, every goal seems to be the case.
Oh my goodness. What a season.
Yeah. Can we go back to the other conference for a quick second? I'm not managing. Come on, Mal. You know you want to.
Well, Mal doesn't want to do anything, apparently. Hold on a minute. We're back. Mal
will do anything to avoid work.
This isn't work. And, Joe, he's been waiting all season to do this. For once, Pegasus, can you read the Glaciers conference?
Oh, of course. We got Temple sitting at the top. Fair play to them. They worked really hard this week. They managed to land a sweep on a team, and well, it had a little bit of an impact because Shinjiro did take 6th place and Turins take 7th. Those are 2 series happening at the exact same time. Should Centurions have gotten an extra win, or Shinjiro drew instead of 1, head-to-head actually would have gone in the favour of Fort Templar. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is enough for Team Serene love. However, I do love them very much. Let's move on to Master.
Yeah, I think so too. Can't have enough Danny, apparently. Sorry, that's incorrect. You can have far too much Danny. But Kingsman, apparently you're re-employed again. How does Glaciers look for the Master side?
One team decided it was time to rock the Glaciers conference. Wasn't Wyverns, wasn't Dominion, wasn't Inferno. It was Sovereigns sweeping Inferno, who were looking at fighting Wyverns for that top spot. And they win. They get a 3-1 win over fellow top 6 contenders, Shokan, who the teams around them having basic weeks really, really shows how much it matters. But there were loads of draws. Only a total of 4 wins this week, I believe. I might be wrong on that. Let me just do my maths again. Yeah, 4 wins. A 3-1 win for Ivy over Haven at the bottom of the table. No one really was watching that anyway. Dominion beat Tempest 3-1. Sovereigns taking half of the series wins this week. And what a performance it was. And round of applause to them, because as the league table will show, I'm going to spoil it, they managed to secure 6th place off the back of it.
Oh no, we have spoilers. Anyways, Pegasus, Ignis, please.
And of course, fair play to the Fort Templar side. There's been rivalry between us and Team Serene because of this podcast, and it's shown itself in Master. Onto Ignis. The battle of first has been between Mania and Vulcan. Basically all season, Leo definitely had a patch where they were competing for it as well, but as it stands, it was Mania versus Vulcan. We did actually have that specific matchup, and Mania did take a 3-1 victory. Vulcan also went on to draw Leo, who also drew Infinity for a neutral week. Infinity also got a draw versus 20 Rock. So draws absolutely all over the place here in the Master Division. Nox were the only other team to go double win with victories against Illusion and Montezuma. But yeah, Vulcan in the final week, a draw and a loss, really halting them, and Mania able to get themselves double wins as per usual.
Well, thank you very much there. And for the last team for league play, Kingsman, how does the Glaciers league table look?
Well, the Glaciers Conference, Wyverns taking the top, a double draw and more than enough to leave them with the most wins in RSC league play. So congrats to them, double draw, but they still will clinch the most game wins. Second, Dominion rob Inferno on the final week of that second place spot with 46 wins. Inferno with a week to forget, no win in 2 weeks, sees them on third on 45. Volpez just liking draws in Master, they end up on 39. Abyss on head-to-head take 5th place on 34 wins, and that 7-1 week for Sovereigns sees them take their claim in the 6th place spot, knocking out Tempest and Shokan by 1 game. Not that it matters, but Iovi got 9th and Haven got 10th.
Sorry, who was 8th, by the way?
Team Serene's master team.
Yeah, should have got a coach there, Peg.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have.
Maybe. Shall we look at the other conference to make your tears go away?
Absolutely. We should. Absolutely love that team as well. But anyway, as I said, there was a battle for that first place spot between Mania and Vulcan, and it was actually decided by that series they played against each other. Mania took that victory, therefore they do take the top spot by 1 game win. And then, of course, there is that huge difference actually between second and third, a whole 5 game wins, of which Leo will sit at. Nox also sitting in 4th at the moment, so they will not guarantee themselves playoffs. And Leo, they almost let it slip here. They did get 2 draws this week, and Nox did get 2 wins, and it still wasn't enough to close that gap enough and obviously leapfrog them. So Infinity do sit in 5th with 37 game wins. Illusion sit in 6th with 35. Hades 7th with 33, just about missing out, as do 20 Rock with the exact same game wins. And actually very similar to Rival here. 20 Rock were able to get a win and a draw this week. Illusion got double loss, but still that wasn't enough for them to lose the position because of how well they've done in previous weeks. But a relatively close call. And then at the bottom of the table, it is Montezuma and Manipulation on the exact same game wins of 22.
Fair enough, and I do love the graphics on the table. I don't think it's showing the head-to-head record potentially here, but Fearless's roster here, technically upwards trajectory in 10th.
Technically, they're 9th, on head-to-head, and 20 Rock are technically 7th on head-to-head, but let's not get into technicalities.
Yes.
Right, so no need for technicalities here, but gentlemen, we do have the Masters here, and I do want to touch on something that Pig just briefly said there. Your Masters team, first of all, Pegasus, is fantastic, and big shout out as well for Rose, who actually came in to help out with a lot of coaching. I know I get a bit of stick here on that, but Kingsman, you still have a cup game as well too, and how's that one go?
Oh, everyone will say it's the most Mickey Mouse Cup run ever. We've got another rival team in the quarterfinal. I don't know how we do it, to be honest. We played 2 rival teams and we knocked out Danny's elite team. I call it Danny's elite team because he's done all the coaching and basically got them 6th this season. So, yeah, we haven't played a master team yet, and we're going to get a free route to the semi-finals, which is going to be good.
Well, I will say, Kingsman, I thank you for the practice. I will say you did play them before they played their series later in the week, which, of course, allowed them to get it. So we'll call that Cup a scrim game. And did you manage to catch one of the DSQ teams, I believe it was, in the Cup?
Yes.
Because I do just want to shout out, DSQ have 3 teams in the Cup at the moment. And I believe it's at the quarter-final stage, which seems unheard of. They have Rival, Elite, and Master. Is that correct?
They're going to lose them all this week.
Is that a prediction there, Kingsman?
Is that a prediction, Kingsman?
Yes, because Wyverns are going to slap Carbo unless they troll. We'll beat Caligo, and Vulcan should be more than good enough to beat Nox. So
I hope you lose. I know it's not going to happen, but oh my goodness, would it be incredible scenes?
Joe, I was 1 goal away from knocking Legend Media's master team out. If anyone wants to pick me up, by the way, maybe against Kingsman's team or not. Joe, I would love to if that was even streamed. We'll get Tavish when he's actually decided to show up and get him a cash for a change.
Oh dear. Well, it's been scheduled already. Apparently, it's tomorrow at 8 BST. So, any streamers want to take in part, go for it.
No, that sounds fantastic. If anybody is listening to that, the Cup game, of course, against the future winner of this season's Cup, Kingsman Gas, is throwing the gauntlet down. But Gentlemen, we do have the franchise standings, and I'll start with you, Kingsman Gas, for the bottom of the table, because I do believe Mal might be sitting last here. Could be wrong, but is that the case?
No, Mal isn't sitting last. It's Fearless Esports, but head in hands at what might have happened this season if he had been GM. I'm sure it would have gone a lot better than that. 153 wins, only just behind Might of Hades on 154. Volpez and 20R sharing last place. They now share 17th, 18th. Not really much better. And then 10 above them is Death Cloud, who managed to pull away. So fair enough to them. They're not in the bottom 4 franchises. They take a mid-table spot. Then it's Panthera on 169, and a series separates them from the big boys up top. Illusory, who dropped to 14th. Systema, Solaris, and Symbiotes on 175. And Fort Templar on that 176. So Mal, I know you're listening behind the scenes, but you didn't beat Sir Pegasus. What went wrong, man?
Everything.
Oh my goodness. Let me say, there's been a big smile on my face for quite some time now. A huge smile on my face, knowing that I get to talk about the top 10 and my team is finally better. I feel like it's the second time we've been there this season. We've kind of just managed to grab it on the final line here.
Can we get Mal on the line here? I think he has the right to defend himself here.
Oh, the poor guy's had so much to do already. Yeah, no, you can't, Danny. He says in chat. No, you can't.
Well, I can't bring the producer and the meant-to-be GM here who has lost
Mal
the
would break
Pegasus.
something.
Yeah,
We'll have a mental breakdown. He's put in chat. Oh, we don't want to see Mal on stream. No one wants to see.
We do. No, we do.
What we have to say is what we have to say here because we are a loving community.
Do we? I got a very interesting tweet there by Kingsman earlier this week. Actually, it was something else, I must say.
Yeah.
Green sucks.
I don't think
Did that go to stream as well? Mal just screamed in my ear, Serene sucks.
No, I don't think that was on air here, but while everybody else is hoping for next season to start at this rate here, we might as well move to the top 10.
Here we go.
And,
Exactly
Joe,
what
we'll just skip Team Serene. Who's in 9th?
Oh, we can. Don't worry. We've had our talks. We're past the point now where all the teams from 9th and onwards actually went positive this season overall. Brave Esports taking that 9th place spot with 183. Sanctuary are next with 188 and Forge with 190. Of course, you do see those red down arrows next to them, but it's still a very nice place to finish here at the end of the season. Legend Mania also on 190. Azteca take their place into the top 5 to get 193. Alpha says drop down slightly to 4th place to take 197, just shy of getting those 200 game wins, which Shadow Esports were able to do. And now moving on to DSQ Esports, the team with 3 teams still surviving in the RSC Cup. As I mentioned before, they sit in 2nd with 205 and at the top of the table. I mean, they have been untouchable basically all season. I am looking on my other monitor here. They took 42 series wins, 30 series draws, and a shocking 18 series losses, which is the lowest by quite some distance. So fair play to Green Phoenix, an absolutely insane season. They collect 214 game wins.
So the 3 points I'm going to mention, Team Serene's last game of Sunday was the Elite Boys. So well done to them for making Team Serene actually even. DSQ has done better since removing Tavish. So maybe DSQ has got a point here. And Stinger has actually, went top of the league table when he stopped getting casters in, but just for the last record, I did go to a final when he picked me as his roster, so hey ho, that's the 3 last useful points here of the franchise standings here. But just to say it is, Tavish is yet to be found anywhere. If you do know where he is, please send him back. But
maybe that's why he's not here.
What, the fact that he didn't beat Stingers for top spot?
Yeah, maybe that's why he's not here. He's absolutely devastated, and he knows that the one time the management didn't have him, they finished higher than 15th.
Yeah. We do notice here. Didn't need to be said, really, at that point. And I don't know when Fort Tamper became the best, by the way, Mel, but thank you very much. Gentlemen, any thoughts here about the league here before we move on to the actual brackets and how everything shape up here? We'll start with you, Kingsman.
Yeah, playoffs should just be in LAN format. Could you imagine playoffs on LAN? That would be incredible. Ark, I hope you're listening.
You know what? I'm going to vouch for that. I think playoffs should be on LAN, and I think Kingsman Gas should pay for every single person's train ticket, plane ticket, accommodation. Everything's got to come out of his pocket. And ladies and gentlemen, you can make that more possible
if you pay for the venue.
And ladies and gentlemen, we can make that more possible if, of course, you drop some subs into the chat. I did see earlier, of course, about something that Kendo actually gifted some. You can join that, and of course, it will contribute to the fund for our next LAN. Please, ladies and gentlemen, drop some subs. RSC is all year round now, ladies and gentlemen. But on my comments about the season, I think it has been extremely good. I think Prospect has actually been at its peak. It was actually much more exciting than I think the last two have been. But, you know, it's as much of a peak as Prospect can get to. I can see Kingsman Gas laughing on the other side with the spoilt face of someone sitting in the Master Division.
Absolutely.
Well, that's fair enough here. I'm just trying to work out when Pegasus has decided to become a priest there. You got him a ceremony there and shaking the tin. But, anyways, I believe the bracket is ready for at least Prospects, so we might as well get that on the stream here. But, of course, Matthew, thank you to Kendo for the sub here. But here is the bracket, of course, the play-ins that we will see in a few days' time, of course, here. And, Newborn with our Hot Mellow Security, we do have, of course, then Symbiotes, then Mighty Hades, Brave and Azteca Vulpes, and Legend Media sitting on the two lower sides of it. Join us briefly but quickly, and the reason is for that here, I believe we have one more of two teams to show, because we do have predictions. Because I did say we had experts on the broadcast tonight, but we have one man that knows how to use a spreadsheet very well, and that is Archeon. We'll look at his first, of course. So Terra and DSQ second. So, Mal, can you bring the pensioners' predictions out, please? We would like to have a look at that, please.
Pensioners? Give the man some respect.
No. So Kingsman, we'll start with you here on Ark's predictions here. I don't want to spoil your own here, but what's your thoughts here so far on the upper side of the bracket here?
I don't really know Prospect, to be honest, so I don't really know if these are good predictions or not. I do like the Primordial going through. I've got them as a bit of a dark horse in my predictions as well. So that's good. 2 Game 5s in upper brackets. That's also good for content. But I don't think Game 5s are as likely in playoffs as everyone always seems to predict. Everyone loves a Game 5, but you get more sweeps than you do Game 5s. So don't be shocked if a lot more of these are sweeps. But I will say I am surprised by Nanetto's immediate exit. Everyone's got them as one of the teams to look out for. Going 3 wins out of 4 in the last thing. I think they're a team to look out for.
Well, certainly so. We might as well. I believe we're bouncing straight then to the playoffs here of Archeon's predictions here. And as majority here on the panel tonight has literally no idea of Prospects, we don't know how good this actually is. So Pegasus here, I do say that DSQ roster, if Tavish was on tonight here, would be the most happiest man in the world. And, well, what's your thoughts here? Because it seems to be absolutely one-sided traffic here.
I wouldn't say completely one-sided. I mean, they are going to Game 5 against Obscurity in that upper round 1, but fair on out, yeah, it does seem relatively smooth sailing. They'll actually play the team that's second place in their conference, so there's a lot of faith here for Ignis in the upper bracket. Levens will go to the end, and they will eventually face Obscurity, but I'm going to go back to a bit earlier in the table. Of course, Primordial, we like to see them get a little bit of hope, but unfortunately, once it gets to playoffs, they are straight knocked out. The same goes for Vulpes, but Alter and Hot Metal, both the teams coming from the upper bracket, taking that victory and advancing
Obscurity, of course, sitting in second place in Glacies. They'll go on to get a win, and Endrick and the rest of Hot Metal will also find themselves in that lower semi-final, where they believe Obscurity will continue their run all the way to their grand finals, but no bracket resets, no unhappy Source. Well, partly because I doubt he will be streaming it, but Livens will take a victory in the first series 4-2, and I can definitely see that happening. And they're topping the table in Ignis. I don't know much about prospects, but the stats speak for themselves.
All right, and we'll go to the expert. Pegasus, let's see your bracket here, because we might as well, I don't want to see Ark's rest of his bracket. Go away. Thank you. There we go, there's Pegasus. So speak about it.
Well, here we go. I've started off with Newborn taking the victory in the upper bracket, and that was actually something that was echoed by Archeon's prediction and completely disagreed by absolutely everyone in Twitch chat. So maybe we aren't as much experts as we think we should be. Obscurity, I've got going to Game 5 against Hot Metal. I've caught the same bug that Archeon has, and I've actually put 3 Game 5s on this graphic. I've had Tartarus, unfortunately getting knocked out via a sweep. Of course, Tartarus were that side that were sitting in 7th place, but due to protocol having to forfeit, they did manage to achieve themselves qualifications. I never typically have faith in those kind of teams, and unfortunately my predictions have followed. Nenettle, I've said, are going to go on an absolute tear through lowers as well to qualify through playoffs, going through Spark in a very close game against Volpez. And well, there are your 4 teams being added to playoffs: Newborn, Obscurity, Primordial, and Nenettle.
Okay, quite a lot of unhappy people, but the playoffs themselves will be joining the likes of GSQ and Terra. Do you agree with the Archeon prediction? And so far, do you see Sauce is crying in a corner somewhere if he was caught streaming this? So, what's your thoughts there?
Well, I'll try to follow this one a little bit more chronologically. I've got double sweeps happening in the lower round 1. Primordial, unfortunately, getting knocked out. Nenettle, unfortunately, getting knocked out. And actually, similar to Ark, I've had both the teams that came from the upper bracket taking those victories. But if we do want to actually look at the upper bracket, we've got Newborn winning in 5, Livens winning in 4, and then Livens actually taking the spot in the grand final in 4 games. Now, Alter and Hot Metal, after going 2 lowers, I've predicted that both of them will take the victory, and Terra are going to have a very unfortunate playoff run, as will Obscurity, actually. Alter, 3-1 win versus Hot Metal. I actually really rate this Hot Metal side, and I probably would have picked them to go all the way to the grand finals, but I saw a little bit of a dodgy series versus Protocol on Sunday, so that actually skewed my thinking a little bit with some recency bias. I've got Newborn going on to beat Alter in Game 5, and then the wasted bracket reset in the grand finals, with Newborn winning from the lower bracket with a 4-2 win, resetting the bracket, and then Livens remembering who they are and taking a series victory 4-1.
Fair enough. And I believe Kingsman Gas, you're up next, and I believe you have a similar philosophy to myself here, and you don't care.
I do, to be honest. I've not taken their bug. I've got no game 2s. And for those of you prospects that complain in chat now, I put a message out earlier today saying, who do we think's good? And Tartarus, 7th place, I'll just be right. They don't deserve top 6, and I think they'll get treated that way by Primordial. I think Primordial then will go through momentum and walk through Hysteria. I think Nenettle, their recent form, will take them past Spark and past Volpez as well. Obscurity, Hot Metal, I just see Obscurity going 3-0. All I'm saying is I've seen C on Clip of the Week every single week, so I know he's got some mechanics, and Veiled is seriously underrated for his CMV, so that's just a sweep there. And I think Green Phoenix, sweep Alter. Everyone has said that Alter are going to flop in playoffs, and I back it, to be honest. I haven't seen the roster, but I know it has Merits and Tavish on it. So surely they're not going to win a game against Newborn.
Fair enough. We might as well then look at the rest of the final sort of matchups that are the playoffs of it here, because who's falter, who's going to be the one to blame, and then eventually somebody's going to have an argument on Twitter and everybody's going to watch it. So Kingsman, how does it play out then?
Well, I had Primordial beating Alter just based off momentum, and then I had Hot Metal taking the Nettle to 3-2. And what I think will be the most exciting series of probably the day, I think that would be I couldn't decide that one, to be honest. I think that's a complete 50-50. Obscurity Livens exactly the same, but I have Obscurity taking it barely, and it starts Livens on an absolute belter of a lower bracket run. Terra, I see going out double because if you guys don't know, a big player for Terra is not able to play playoffs and is being replaced. So I do not see them getting a game, and they've got Simdog on the roster, so it speaks for itself. Livens, I see getting through Primordial. I think it'll be a close series, but not enough. And then Livens just walking through the lower bracket, beating Hot Metal. I think that'll be a close game, and then beating Newborn. That could be a very good series as well, but I don't think it will go to Game 5. And I think then Livens will use that momentum to get a Game 7 bracket reset against Obscurity. Then I see Obscurity waking back up and taking them all 4 games to have Obscurity as your champions.
Well, fair enough. There it is. That is the Kingsman Gas prediction. We are technically meant to go to Tavish, but we do have one man who has stepped up to the plate here for our final prediction. Of course, we might as well bring that one up here, and we'll see the play-ins. And it's not Tavish. We know it's not him.
It is.
He hasn't bothered.
Andre,
Yeah.
it's Andre, I believe.
Yes, Andre.
Yeah. Unless you want to put Tavish back up here.
If they're bad
There we
predictions,
go.
we'll put Tavish's
Says Andre
name on
now.
there. If they're very good predictions, Andre keeps it.
Well, fair enough. Here, very quickly. There we have it.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
So Newborn and Alter 3-0, Serene 3-1 there, then Primordial go 3-1 in their first game, then lose to, of course, Hysteria. Spark 3-2 against Nettle, then, of course, Spark wins 3-1. That is the fake Tavish there. We'll bounce straight over to the playoffs here. We have seen already 3 predictions on tonight for Prospect here, and we may as well. Newborns win, Obscurity wins, then it goes in the upper final 3-2 with those particular rosters, but Alter Hot Metal carries on through until they get to the DSQ roster, and up until that point here, back and forth until the grand final. Newborn against Hot Metal 4-3, no bracket reset. So gentlemen, that there, give or take, is Andre's predictions here, and since we're not really much as experts here, I would say that's us done for Prospects. Would that be happy with you two gentlemen?
More than happy.
Absolutely.
No, fair enough here. Now we move on to, well, Challenger here, and I'm just, enjoying Mal's great ability to get things quickly flipped around here. So we might as well start with Archeon once again, and at the Challenger side of things here.
Still
and
in Prospect, apparently. We never left Prospect, it seems.
Yeah, but I thought
yeah.
I thought I'd keep talking here, and Mal might fix it without me pointing that out.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Poor guy. No,
There we go.
this is no. It is Challenger Mal. It just says Prospect top right. Don't worry, the sheet
it
is
says
up.
Prospect
There
top
we
right.
go. Oh goodness.
Now we've lost the brackets.
Oh
God.
Oh my goodness. Wait. We love you, Mal. We do. We love you, Mal. We do. All right.
So, just for the record here, Mal is a fantastic producer.
He is.
He's just having a really bad day, apparently. So, I'll wait till he sticks the word Archeon top left here and give him half a second here. But how's your day, by the way, Kingsman? I haven't properly asked.
Yeah, it was alright. Long day, don't get me wrong. But I think Mal at this point is just going to show us the playoff bracket more than predictions. So, at the moment, it's looking good. But yeah, I've had an alright day. And what about you, Danny?
Miserable.
Oh. Okay.
Expected nothing less.
Yeah. How's yourself, Pig?
Yeah, I'm alright.
All right, everybody's fine there, and we move on to, of course, the playoff brackets. If you weren't mentioned in the play-ins there, well, we'll be talking about you just shortly. There's Eclipse and Feather. We might as well see Archeon's predictions here coming up next year. I must say, the bracket was designed wonderfully well there. Look at those rectangles.
They are beautiful. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
I've got a big smile on my face. I do enjoy a rectangle as a maths major. Anyway, Archeon's predictions.
Boring.
Yes. Well, they may as well be boring here. No surprise for Templars. Roster getting predicted against 3-2. Apprentices 3-1 there. Then, well, Team Serene's actually done well. They've actually won their series against 20-all Rook here. DSQ, however, takes them out here. Neptunium gets knocked out here. Ember then moves on against, of course, the Panthera roster. Then we move on to the playoff side of things here. So, Archeon's play-ins bracket, and I'll go to you there, Pegasus. No surprises there? I think we may have lost Peg there. Hey.
We did lose Pegasus temporarily. Hello, we are back. We are back. We are back. I had to cough, unfortunately, just as you threw it across to me. But looking at the second page, I think there were some surprises on the first one, but we'll wait to see my predictions for that. Over here, of course, we got Eclipse winning in Game 5. You know how much he loves an upper bracket Game 5 here. But, you know, he's decided to let the other ones go in 4. Feather beating Kapakli. And Feather winning actually again versus Eclipse to try and take that first upper bracket spot in the grand finals. Moving on to lowers. Ryusians actually getting double knocked out here. They haven't had the best of form recently, but still, that is a very bold call coming from Archeon. Sentinels managing to beat Ember. Apprentices then going on to knock out Sentinels. Kanan's getting that win versus Kapakli, so they're not going to go all that far, which I'm quite surprised about, to be fair. I feel like Kapakli have earned themselves the right to go further. Apprentices going on to beat Kanan's 3-1. Eclipse getting themselves that spot in the grand finals, and well, there's going to be no wasting time here, Danny boy, because Archeon has predicted it will get done in 6, with Feather taking that victory.
Might as well be a 4-0. No point in playing a grand final we don't go to 7. Anyways, Pegasus, you're up next. You've been talking somewhat you don't know ball. Chat's been saying that all night. I hate that phrase and I've just used it. Can you pick yours down?
I'll be honest, this is the least involved I have been with the Challenger tier, so my predictions aren't going to be fantastic. Yeah, this is incorrect predictions, most likely, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm actually pretty confident with my upper bracket here. I've got Apprentices taking it 3-1 and compactly going to Game 5 against Sentinels, because, you know, I've got a lot of faith in this Kapakli side that they will get that upper bracket win. In the lowers, I do have Yakubo, my team, taking on 20 Rook and Kanans and getting victories against both of them with a thrilling Game 5 to qualify for playoffs. And then for the rest of play-ins, I've got Pardus going to 5 and Ember knocking out Pardus to qualify for the next day.
Okay, we may as well look at the Championship Sunday itself here, not too far away here. So the grand final. And I'm surprised here we do have a bracket reset predicted once again by yourself, if I do recall correctly. So explain yourself.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to escape the biased allegations, so I've just given us a loss in that first round, although I firmly do not believe it. I think I've put here that Ryusians will beat us in Game 4 and progress down the bottom. I'm actually not playing that day, to be fair. I've just got faith in my team. But Sentinels will sweep Ember is also another one of my predictions there. A little bit bold, but Sentinels, they've just been in insane form recently, and Ember are definitely a team that when they pop off, I don't think many teams can beat them, but Sentinels are starting to establish themselves in my eyes. In the upper bracket, Eclipse beating Apprentices 3-1, and Feather also beating Kapakli 3-1. And then in that second losers round, I do have Kapakli going all the way to Game 5 versus Ryusians. I think Kapakli have been in really, really good form. The same can't exactly be said to Ryusian Sentinels. I've got also going to 5 versus Apprentices. I think those will be 2 very entertaining series. And then for the rest of the bracket, I've got Sentinels beating Kapakli, Sentinels dropping down to upper bracket Team Eclipse, Eclipse managing to take a series out of Feather in Game 7, and then unfortunately having that wasted bracket reset with Feather winning 4-2 in the second series.
So Just very quickly here, I do want to touch on one thing you said there. You pandered to the crowd here to say Team Serene is going to get beat. You're not playing on Sunday. Who do you think you're even going to get into Sunday in the first place?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've got lots of faith, full confidence. I'm going to take it.
Kingsman, please tell me you got a more reasonable bracket here. Team Serene not being in the playoff brackets. We might as well bounce over to you here next.
Well, I've been sat in half an hour with one of Challenger's best players, in my opinion. And no,
Thank you.
as much as they have the only French player, as much as I wanted to put them in for having the only French player in the tier, no, I'm a bit more realistic.
Really?
They are going to beat what? Really what?
Is that a true stat? We've got the only French player. Hold on, what?
In Challenger.
Is that true?
Yeah, I saw,
Oh,
yes.
wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
So
That's
I was
awesome.
very
Yeah,
tempted
yeah.
for that
Sorry about
sole reason, just to put you guys through and not go all the way to win it. But I thought, no, I best not. So I sat down with one of the best players in Challenger, and we decided to cut through these, and this is what I've come up with. Yukubo 20 Rook, Yukubo take that, 20 Rook didn't even make top 6. Then Canaans are a very strong roster in Nations and Arc, so they go through. And then down there, Neptunium Pardis 50-50. I've given the hat to Neptunium. I think they will just have that edge on the day with Nish and Eddie. If you guys don't know, Eddie did win on LAN, so he does have nerves of steel. But I do then see them losing to Ember. No momentum push through here. Subby and Frost players I didn't know, but apparently work very well together. Sentinels Kapakli, I wanted to give it to Kapakli, but I think Sentinels, just for Ice, will take it. They won't feel the pressure. Panic has been on stream a lot, and I think it will just give him the edge to push through Kapakli. I think Ryujins will beat Apprentices 3-1. I think they've got lots of scrims coming up in this week apparently, and they can fix a lot of things out.
I don't believe it, but fair enough. We might as well see how the playoff side of the bracket goes, and, do they fix all their issues based on that key bit of information? Do they?
Well, yes, but I won't spoil it. Eclipse Ryujins, again, it's a game 5, but I've given the hat to Ryujins here. I think they'll just take it. Players that have been on stream a lot, Buddha obviously streams all of his games. Vortex and Phoenix will be very used to it compared to Eclipse, whose its first game was on stream. However, when you have strength such as Saltskegger, Killer Goose, and Deadly Dom, they'll put up a fight, but I don't think they have the ice. Feather, though, I have Sweeping Sentinels. That's just a no-brainer. Feather are so strong, and they've showed that all season long. Apprentices Canaans, I think that's a 50-50, but I think Apprentice is just going to get the best of Canaans here, and Kapakli are going to sweep Ember based on their form. Then Eclipse are going to beat Kapakli in what could be a very difficult lower bracket match, but will be very, very good. Then Apprentices Sentinels, again a 50-50, but I saw AR on LAN. I was very, very good, surprised me, so I gave it to them. But then when they meet Eclipse, I think Eclipse will just sweep that. Absolutely no problem at all. Feather, with the strength and the momentum, will beat Ryujins 3-1, and will send them to the lower bracket. For Ryujins, again, take it in 5 against Eclipse. They'll bounce back and send them home. Double game 5 will be a killer. And then with that momentum, I think they will take on Feather, and they will bracket reset them to take the championship.
Well, certainly sounds good here, but we'll be moving over to the imposter Tavish's predictions in just a moment to wrap up the final one for the evening before we move on to the clips of the week themselves here. And well, using themselves here are looking to, of course, go 3-2 for Templar 3-1, and I'll just go a bit quicker here and just say the Team Serene and Ember are the two lower sides going through, and this is, of course, Mox's predictions here. So Pegasus, it's just a quick yes or no. Just give me a number here between the 4 teams that qualified. How many has he got right?
Well, can I say are feasible? Can I say are feasible?
3, got Team Serene wrong.
Simple,
I'd say
done,
3.
easy.
I will say I actually was going to say 3, but not because of Team Serene, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, no. Which one? Come on.
No. People know.
Okay. Which one?
I think the team that's been out of form, Ryujians, I don't think they have it in 5 at this current form. I think they're going to have to do a lot of grinding to take down apprentices.
Ooh, okay.
Up to them to prove me wrong.
All right, it's up to them proving them wrong. Fair enough. Finally, an answer. Now, can we have the playoffs, please, for the final team tonight? Does Mux agree with anybody else on terms of the panel? We'll find out just shortly here. And you know what? Eclipse and Reduce 3-2. Feller 3-0 for Templar Sentinels there with a clean sweep. Feller moves on 3-1, then to, of course, wait for the grand final itself. Team Serene gets knocked out, of course, by Apprentices. Capali 3-0. They continue with another 3-1. Sentinels wins theirs and continues to do it until they meet up against, of course, Shadows Eclipse for the rematch of an upper final. That's a 4-1 for, of course, Mox's predictions. Thomas's name may be top left. But, gentlemen, I'm just going to say that is all predictions done for, of course, Prospect and Challenger done and dusted tonight. So we might as well have a very quick recap here. So Kingsman, thoughts here. Who's the, well, 5, I suppose, predictors has done the best job tonight?
Well, I don't really know, to be honest, because Prospect is a roll of the dice, to be honest. Any team can do well in that division, I think. And we've seen it season on season. There's always a team that makes a shock run through the lower or even upper bracket. So that's a dice roll. Challenger, I'm probably gonna back Mox, to be fair. He comes through. The only thing I'm skeptical of is Sentinel's lower bracket run, but apart from that, I can see a lot of the results he said being feasible.
Fair enough. Pig?
Honestly, looking at all of them, I think they're pretty feasible, especially for Challenger. I don't think there are any two really crazy calls there. Yeah, overall, I think they're okay, and I also know nothing about Prospect. So any of those could be amazing. They could all be really bad. Chat says it's not. Prospect discussion says it was, so who really knows anymore?
W.
Well, fair enough, but that's all of our predictions done for this week. We'll, of course, see Rival late in the upcoming weeks as well, but it's now over to the players to do the action. But, gentlemen, we do have Clip of the Week here, and we've got a massive selection of just one to pick from. Let's see what it is.
Jo, Serene. Moment.
Ja. No! Bonus save!
I'm 0.
Love that. Love that. Why is nobody cheering? Why is nobody cheering?
Sorry.
That was clear clip of the week. That was fantastic. That's fantastic.
Sorry,
double save, in and out, cheeky. We like that. We like that.
Let's rewatch it for the only clip of the week.
Jo, Serene. Moment.
Ja. No! Bonus save!
I'm 0.
I think it would be fair to point out here, and I don't know what Yeats is normally playing at, but that is an elite match, as Wolfie is on the pitch.
Yes.
And, well, congratulations, you are this week's winner. We can't take that away from you. Tempted to, but no.
I just want to add here, it's amazing that clip of the week is finally won by a player not in Prospect, because of course Yeet Reed Kid is a signed elite player now, so it's great to see that finally this season.
No, absolutely not. I do not care about this. Absolutely not. No, I'm sorry. when yesterday on stream in the Mania vs Vulcan game, in Game 4, the game that decided which team got top of the table, Milne hit, by the way, off the backboard, a absolutely insane redirect that didn't bounce off the backboard into the net of Vulcan to wrap up the series. I'm sorry, that just doesn't done justice. I'm sorry. Milne's clip deserves to be clip of the week winner, regardless of it, because I see rival players can do doubles. I see Prospect players can do double saves like that. That is honestly poor from everyone.
And I just want to remind everyone that, you know, the link to submit to Clip of the Week is in, I believe, hashtag links in the main channel. And we do have this situation a lot of times where clips have been hit. But Master and Elite especially, you guys don't submit them. Submit some clips, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are watching the streams and you do see a goal that makes you think, oh my gosh, that was kind of insane, take it upon yourself to submit it as well.
Wait,
otherwise, you know, we'll have that to win. It was submitted. Oh, that's for the producer to look out. Then that's out of our power.
Do you know what here? And this might be too much work. Mal, can you maybe get the middle clip here? While you get that set up here, can we have the feel of the week here? Because I have no idea what it is yet here, but well, we do have. You know, I'm just going to double checking here. Is Mal bothering here or not being? Come on here, Mal. What confirmation? Can you at least tell us you're going to bother getting the middle clip? I'm waiting for the word no to be whispered in my ear here. But, do you know what? Since everybody's complaining, feel of the week here. Come on, Mal. Run up.
Nice.
Army. That's
Some mid left.
To the wall, to you. He's on.
Next one left.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Nice.
You beat.
Beat him. Nice, let's go.
Kyra?
Okay.
Wait, mid, you?
Turn.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Lad.
I'm
back right.
He was there, bro.
Oof.
Do you know what? Run it again.
Nice.
Army. That's
Some mid left.
To the wall, to you. He's on.
next one left.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Nice.
You beat.
Him. Nice, let's go.
Kyra?
Okay.
Wait, mid, you?
Turn.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Lad.
I'm
back right.
He was there, bro.
Right, so Kingsman, as the representative of the Masters here, break that down, please.
Well, 4 seconds left. Kairu has got an absolute ego on him, as I don't know whose POV it was, but they managed to beat Thuba, who, as Pixis points out, won the redirect monthly, I think it is, this month, or weekly, one of the two. And Kairu decides, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna bang that straight into the crossbar. Not the min-master player I know.
I mean, Kingsman, did he think he was Jamie Vardy with an open net trying to slap it to the roof of the net? I mean, just completely overcomplicated it.
No idea.
I would love someone to find what the result of that game was. If that lost them that game, which I saw was forced in an overtime as a result of that, and that is poor.
I can double check the overall if I just, because that was a league play game. It would have been 4-3. Was it 3-3, wasn't it?
Jazz said lost in OT. Jazz's team lost in OT. Oh my goodness.
And the cup game here, according to Conflict as well.
I see. Right.
So
in the league.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been banging on here about submitting clips and everything else. We are going to rerun here the actual clip of the week here one more time to the dismay of half the panel here tonight. And then we may show you something else. Mal, hit the button, please.
You, Serene. Land.
No! What a save!
I'm 0.
Yeah.
Right. Now that was our winner, and we're not taking anything away from Yeats. Congratulations, you are the winner. Now, if this was actually submitted, this may have been the winner. Mal, can you do the honors, please?
Now being shut down before it ever becomes too dangerous. Dreamy again will take this ball in the corner. A little bit of control and the boom out, but now Jaffa with time and Milne on the backboard for the drop down. There's Dreamy, but he can't make the touch. Milne, that's 1-0.
It's the type of goals you see that win you games like this. What a shot from Milne. Dreamy absolutely not expecting it. And my oh my, That is the type of shot that was going to open up this game. It had to be.
Right. So, quick question. It bounced. Does it get the vote for clip of the week? Pink.
Well, our philosophy historically, Kingsman, if we're being honest here, is if it bounces, it doesn't count. But I think it's so hard to take anything away from that goal. If you also factor in the situation, it makes up for that cheeky bounce. Even with the angle as well, insane from Mill. Great goal, and of course, it did secure themselves at playoffs with 2 lives. They don't have to fight for it in a second place spot. So you know what? Absolute banger. It was on stream as well. Yeah, you'll love to see it. But like I said, we did get further confirmation that clip wasn't submitted through the form. Therefore, they can't be the winner. It's part of the rules. It's simple as that.
Rigged.
Yeah. Anyways, that has been clip of the week, fail of the week. And of course, you have the play-ins, playoffs. Feel free to keep submitting. We may just see yours. I just feel like it's Harry Hill and it's you've been framed here moment. But shall we see maybe our few winners of course, the awards itself here, because we have spent a fair amount of time here debating and debarkling. But Kingsman, our prospects of the week.
Yeah, Chills World is your MVP, 475.5 points per game. Also your finisher, taking it off Breeze and Revised Neil. McMain, Nova Death Cloud Esports will be your shooter with 66.6%. Righty on that Nanetto roster I mentioned, 1.25 assists per game, gets him Playmaker. And GT Thunder by 0.05 gets your Saviour with 2.43 saves per game.
Fantastic. We'll be moving straight over, of course, to the challenger side of things. And Pig, what's happened over there?
Well, of course, this is the final week, your opportunity to try and secure yourselves play-ins, playoffs, maybe an extra life. It does start off, unfortunately, with a team that had to forfeit their spot. Beeping Shiva, oh no, it hurts. It hurts. He's there twice. He did get MVP. He did get 2 goals per game. Potter, coming off the FA list to secure a 100% shoot percentage. Of course, my teammate secured himself 1.25 assists per game to help us go 7-1 this week. And then it is the admin himself, 2.75 saves per game, just putting himself ahead of a Wolf who has the exact same saves per game. So I think that was a little bit of admin privileges. But I do actually want to go back to the left side of the screen. Deadly Dom was second place for MVP with just shy of 500 points per game. And Kendo will take second place for goals per game with 1.88. And of course, those were the 2 very, very strong qualifying rosters.
Well, certainly so, but we'll go straight over to Rival with Kingsman.
We will when Mal loads the graphic. Here we go, shiny yellow, and your MVP will be Axlos, 500 points per game. He was absolutely talking smack at me yesterday when they drew us in the cup. I'm wondering if he can back that up. Drizzy will be your finisher, 1.75 goals per game. Loveless robbed, but he does get your striker. Can't give him 2 awards. Give him an ego. Pile of Dodge, though, your playmaker with 1.75 assists per game. And Lucas, clearly your saviour with 3.25 saves per game.
Well, outstanding numbers, but does Elite even challenge the Rivals? We'll find out shortly here with Pegasus. Break it down, please.
Well, Elite's always very entertaining. Players tend to step up and become the highlight man, and Reptic was one of those to do it with over 500 points for first, second, and third place here. Reptic taking top with just around 530. I'll move on to that in a sec. CMAT with around 520, and Joris with 500 there. Finisher, it is CMAT06 with 2.5 goals per game, clearing both Gaming and Quack Dealers, who will take silver and bronze. And then for striker, the shooting percentage, it is Yeet Rekid. There you go. He's an established elite player now. He has an elite accolade. He can take that one home. His teammate Bisho also taking 2.75 saves per game to take gold for Saviour. But don't think I forgot about Form, of course, with 1.75 assists per game to take Playmaker as well.
Well, that is the way it is. He seems to be the man of everything at the moment, Yeet, but we have a man more important, Kingsman. What's Masters like?
Very good to play in. Oh, no, sorry, I mean player of the week. Anyway, your MVP, shocker, is Riho, 579 points per game. Your finisher is Wapiti, 1.38 goals per game. Your striker will be Bossy Lassie, only 50%, tied with Natzali. Mimical gets your playmaker of 1.29 assists per game, and your saviour, again, will be Riho with 3 saves per game. Riho beating Dansku to 2 awards here by 0.12 saves and 50 points. So, Dansku, you need to lock in for playoffs. I know he already is, but the GeoGuessr grind might have to stop for a bit.
Oh no. Anyways, we may as well move on to the team of the week, and Pegasus, you might as well have it.
Well, who were the big performers when they needed to save the day? It starts off with Chillswell taking it for Volpez Esports here in Prospect. Kendo in Challenger for that insanely good Azteca Esports side. Axelos for DSQ here in Rival. Gamey for Systema Solaris in Elite. And to finish things off, Wapiti for DSQ Esports yet again on the team of the week.
Seems to be certainly collecting it, and I believe that is everything, gentlemen, wrapped up for all 9 weeks of league play, done and dusted. We are officially now in playing some playoffs, and we'll start with you, Pig. Thoughts here?
I'm always very excited for this period, both as a player, as management now, and of course as a caster. We're going to hope to get lots of streams running, ladies and gentlemen, so please follow, maybe have some notifications on, and tune in every now and again. Also, if you'd like to sub as well, that'd be appreciated. It helps a bunch of things happen around here. Kingsman, why are you shaking your head? Kingsman, don't shake your head. Don't shake your head, Kingsman. Anyways, hope you guys tune in for play-ins and playoffs. It's been an absolutely insane season. Let's hope this period matches.
Kingsman, are you in danger, or are you just fancying one of the persons on the panel here?
No, not at all, not at all. I could never. But yeah, no, I am looking forward to this. Normally, I don't change my predictions for a while. New Monster Cat music, woo. That was very... Sorry, I got distracted. Lamb was good, thanks, sponsors. Please help me, I don't know what to put here. That's Mal's final thoughts. On to mine. Prospects, please fill my predictions perfectly. I need the points. I need to win a playoff prediction again against Pegasus and Fake Tavish. So that'd be very nice. But yeah, do your best. It's playoffs week. It's your final opportunity to show what you're made of. And if you flop this week, well, you'll always be remembered as a flop.
Well, thank you very much there, Kingsman. And speaking about flops, hello. We might as well speak about, of course, more importantly, our sponsors there. You have the likes of Solaris, Team Serene, and of course, Brave the others up there on top. Of course, feel free to get the links all down below here. Massive thank you for Mal for the anarchy that I have produced onto this broadcast tonight. But from us fine gentlemen here and to everybody at home, stay safe until next time. We'll see you soon. Good night.